You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com. Well, welcome everybody to another Workshop Wednesday, where it's all about casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where it's learning QuickBooks and more your way. I got to throw the and more in there now, because it's not just QuickBooks anymore.
No, so much more.
Right. And that's why we have Yousif. We have a blurry Yousif with us today.
Yeah, you're blurry. I was just going to tell you that, Yousif.
There we go.
This is the challenge of doing live workshops and webinars, is that technology either works or it doesn't at the time that you're doing it.
Exactly. It's just new.
So, right. And as we were saying before, we're not going to let great be the enemy of the good here, and we're going to go with it. We have a QR code for School of Bookkeeping on Earmark, as Blake was mentioning before we went live, that we do have CPE credit available not post conversion. I'm telling that tells you what I was talking about right before. Post workshop, about 5 to 7 days after they make the course available on Earmark, and then you can get some CPE credit for that. So let me go ahead and hide that QR code. But another announcement, we are in the midst of our 4-week cohort for AI in accounting. We're calling it Prompts for Practices. And it's okay if you didn't join us for the first 2 weeks. We have this, the sessions are recorded so that you can go back and watch week 1 and week 2. But every day that we have, or every week, we have a live session, and then we have homework. Wow, we actually have homework in the school. So there's assignments, learning activities, and then we follow up with that on Thursdays as well. And all those sessions are recorded. So if you want to play catch up and learn a little bit more about how you can create prompts for your practice and actually use AI and adopt AI into your practice, that is the whole goal and focus of our premier cohort that we have going on for all this month.
And so, it's with Ted, right?
What's that?
And it's with Ted, right?
It is. Yes, it is with Ted.
Who we had on the workshop. And by the way, I still use some of the tips that he gave us on ChatGPT. It was so helpful.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because our first class or first session that we had, he did a self-assessment. We were introducing everybody, and they were talking a little bit about their background and rating themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 as what they're familiar with ChatGPT, and inevitably people rated themselves higher at the beginning than they did at the end, because there are just lots of tips, tricks, and nuances to working with AI, and it is just evolving tremendously, right? Probably by the end of the cohort, some of the things that we talked about are already outdated.
Yeah, it's funny. Sam Altman made I don't know if anyone's familiar with Sam Altman. He's the founder.
Yeah, he's OpenAI CEO, right? Yeah.
So have you guys seen his tweet where he basically mentioned, after one of their big updates, he basically said the new programming language is now English. That was his tweet.
Wow.
All right.
Basically meaning you just have to learn how to prompt AI, and if you know how to prompt AI, then you can do anything with it.
So, Alexa, do this.
Yeah. One of the jokes that actually came out of it is that Siri is Alexa's dumber sister. immediately it's starting to flash at me in my phone. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know when I've been insulted. All right. Well, AI is nothing about what we're talking about today. Our topic today is all about sales form customizations or customizations of the things that you see and interact with inside of QuickBooks. And we'll talk a little bit about desktop. We'll talk a little bit about QuickBooks Online. We'll also talk a little bit about the conversion of desktop to online when it comes to those sales form customizations. And then we have and beyond, right? So we have the bed, we have the bath, and we have the beyond part where Yousif will come in and we're talking about the things that are outside of the QuickBooks world, being able to sorry, I got excited there with my my teenage would you like fries with that? With outside of the QuickBooks world when you need more than what you get outside of QuickBooks Desktop Online, or need a little bit more than that. So for those that have not seen Yousif joining us before, good friend of the show, give us a little idea of who you are and why you're here.
Yeah. So thanks again, Rachel and Dan, for having me. It's a pleasure. And basically, I was an employee at Method CRM for 6 years. For half of that time, I was their lead solutions engineer, where I basically helped a team of solution engineers try to get the most out of Method when it comes to delivering solutions for their clients. And, that's where I got my most exposure to QuickBooks and understanding what QuickBooks can and can't do. Then I moved on with working as a consultant for Salesforce. And decided that I actually like the Method and QuickBooks realm a lot more. So I decided to leave Salesforce and come back. I know that's not a popular thing to hear,
right.
But
well, it just goes to show that something like Method is maybe a lot more customizable than Salesforce is, and a lot of people really like that.
Rachel,
Matthew McConaughey is not happy about you saying that.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know what? I drive a Lincoln too, so he might be a little conflicted there. But
Salesforce in the Lincoln.
Salesforce in the Lincoln. Yeah. No, but you hit it right on the head there, Rachel. Like when I went there, I was expecting kind of more of the same with Method and Salesforce. I thought Salesforce was going to be very similar. And I quickly found out how the smallest and simplest things you really couldn't just configure on the front end. You had to hire a developer that's often offshore, and then you have to wait for them to get back to you the following day. And it was just a lot of that, and it causes a lot
not ideal.
Yeah, not ideal for sure. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. Let's set the stage a little bit with regards to sales form customizations and desktop. And I have two things sharing at the same time, so I want to make sure I grab the right thing. Okay, this is desktop, right? I know it's hard to see sometimes. I can't make it too much bigger because it's a desktop application and it's not as easy as a keyboard shortcut to make things bigger. But this is what's called in QuickBooks called the template list. So you have a list of transactions or documents that you be working with, transaction types, probably the easiest way to describe it, that can be customized inside of QuickBooks, right? So this is just a small sampling of what's in there, and if you don't have the feature available, like or turned on, I should say, activated, for example, like purchase orders, you don't see on this list because in this particular case they don't have purchase order turned on, so you won't see that template if you don't have the function turned on. But anything that is visible on the screen as far as a transaction type that can be sent out or emailed will have a template to work with. Like you won't be able to see a check screen in here and modify what you see on the screen as far as the check is concerned, because you don't email out a check, you print it, right? So you really don't have the ability to change those types of things inside of desktop. But let's just open up This is an attorney's invoice. It's a template, right? And you have some basic customizations available there, whether you're going to show certain fields or not, what the fonts are. If you want to apply a color scheme, you can do that on the basic customization section. And then you have this button down here at the bottom for additional customization. And it's going to say you can't do a default. So I got to make a copy of it. Immediately, it created a copy that I'm working in. And this is going to have several tabs: header, column, progress, columns, footer, and print, where you can further customize with some checkboxes. You can change the labels of certain columns or fields, and as well as how these things are going to print out.
What about rearranging? Can you rearrange columns?
Absolutely. So here you have, this is interesting because you have what shows on the screen that you can check off, what shows on the printout, what gets sent out of QuickBooks, and then the order, right, is a column in here. So you can change the title of the column, right? So if you don't like the word description, you can just call it desk, right? DESC, or you can change the title to whatever it is that you want here, and then you can change the order.
Interrupt you. Sarah's saying she can't see the screen.
Why not?
Are you using dual monitors? She's saying she can't see your screen.
You may be frozen.
I can see it. I'm not sure.
You might be frozen because I think you were on this screen for a little bit, and I'm not too sure if that was intentional or not. No, you're not.
You know what? Oh, the additional customization is, why is it not? Oh, you know what? You're right.
You're on the wrong screen.
No, I chose window instead of whole screen. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, I'm not really seeing what you're pointing out either. But okay. Okay, never mind. I misunderstood. But yeah,
no.
She wasn't seeing it.
Okay. So where did it go? Oh, I got to go over here. Sorry. And share my screen again. And this time I'm going to choose entire screen, even though I get that entire vortex sometimes when I share. There it is. So let me just pop over here. There we go. Now you can see what I was actually pointing.
Yeah, because the little pop-up thing. Yeah, that happens to me too. And sometimes you don't see it unless you pick entire screen.
See, that's why you're there, because I'm staring over here and I can't see what's actually sharing. So I appreciate the feedback there. Okay, so yes, so you have the header, you have columns, you have the progress, columns, footer, and print that you can customize. And to your point, or to your question, you have the screen column here, you have the print column, so you can check. So if you want to see something on the screen but not send it to the customer, you can have it show on the screen but not printed, right?
Man, I wish we had this in QuickBooks Online.
Well, you do kind of, and when we get to Yousif, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. With that. Quick question also, and sorry if we're only discussing sales forms, but just does desktop have this type of customization with reporting too?
Not per se like this, right?
Like changing the font.
You can change the font. In reports, and that sounds like a good workshop topic for
let's do another one on that one, because I do have a lot of requests for that kind of thing in online, and so I'd like to know kind of the difference between those two.
Yes, and the madness, that's the nicest way to put it, the madness of modern reports versus classic reports. In QuickBooks Online, I do have that scheduled as a specific topic, I think in August or early September. So we will get into that kind of stuff while we're in this, I guess, grace period of being on both sides of the planet until one gets deprecated or discontinued. But the last thing I want to show here in the templates is this button down here called Layout Designer. right? Which allows you to get very granular of how this information will appear and print. So let me zoom in a little bit here so I can.
Yeah,
out,
thanks.
in.
Can't see anything. There we
And
go.
of course, you can't change the width of the screen, right? But you have this toolbar across the top. But really, the thing that I want to show here is any field that's in here, you can move, right? So I can use the directional arrows and just say, hey, I need that over just a skosh, or I need this to be a little bit bigger, right? I can, you got to play a little mouse surgery, right? to make these things, to work with these things. But anything that's visible in here, like if you want to make the columns wider or smaller, you can do that in here. And this will show with a grid, how this would actually print out, or be sent, when it's customer facing.
Can you significantly change like just the design theme of the template? Like, can you add a different color scheme that matches the branding?
Yeah, that's going to be in your basic customization. And then there's also the ability to download templates that other people have created, and then you can just kind of make them your own, right? Okay. So you can go in here. Let me just, you got to cancel about 14 times. Where are the download templates from the menu here? This takes you out online, and then you can start to look at. Well, this one's blue rounded border, right? So you can't see it. You just have to import it. It downloads a template file, and then you can import it, and then you can see and make those tweaks, right?
Can you make something from scratch? Like, can you just say, I want to start with a blank template, and I just want to design something that's completely different than everything else?
It's gotta start with a. Let me close this here. It's got to start with a template type, right? So if I just say new, first it's going to come up with, well, what form are you starting with? Is it an invoice? Is it a credit memo? Is it, and these are all of the types of forms that you can start with, and it's going to have its general or defaults enabled, but of course at that point you can modify it at any point, right?
Okay, that's cool.
So let's switch this to, I'm going to stop sharing here because we're done with desktop, and we'll go over to QuickBooks Online. You'll notice here on the custom form styles, I have one option, right? I have the standard and the default. So when I go in to create a new style, I have three choices: invoice, estimate, or sales receipt. So sadly, all of those other options of customizing your sales or a statement or a sales order, there's a reason that you can't customize a sales order, because it doesn't even exist in QuickBooks Online. But you can't customize a purchase order. The way things look and appear out of QuickBooks, you are somewhat limited. And if you go and try to customize one, right, you have things that you can do here. You can change the template, right, which is the general look and feel of the transaction type. So you have 6 options to choose from in the and you also have different colors that you can add. If you know the hex color, you can add your own custom color, but if you want to choose just one of the defaults, you can change the font, but that is of course the font of everything. So you're not you
not a lot of choices with that.
You get an all or nothing, and these are the choices of fonts that you get to choose from. All 4 of them, right? And then you've got some margins that you can work with. In the content area, it's going to break down the form in 3 sections. So you have the header. What do you want to show on the header? And you can see essentially here you have the basic customization of what we were showing out of QuickBooks Desktop, right? You choose an option, you can put a check mark in there, and you can change, change the title, right? If you want your invoices to be called sales, whatever, you can change the title of it, or not even display it at all, right? And then there's custom fields that you can add, but all of those are in the header of the of the sales transaction. Here in the body, you can change the what shows as far as shows as far as how the line item detail appears, and you'll have some group options down here at the bottom if you want to group them. And then emails is what the form looks like when you email it, and that's essentially it as far as what you have as far as customizations are available. And all of this is, and we had talked about this before, Rachel, when we were talking about the new invoicing experience. There is only one option when it comes to the new invoicing experience, which precludes all of this sales form customization that we've just talked about here. So
Yeah.
you don't really get all of the new functionality in your invoicing customization. And
only there was a way that we could get customization.
Right. So this is what you have to work with. And when you're converting from desktop to online, all that hard work of all the things that you've done doesn't transition over, because there is no apples to apples comparison when it comes to the sales form customizations in desktop as they are in online. Everything is kind of sandwiched or smushed into what you have to work with inside of QuickBooks Online.
But if you've got like X amount of targets in your forms and desktop, that'll all come over to online. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
However, and we just I just did a conversion for somebody who was using the other column, which is a custom column inside of QuickBooks Desktop. There is no such thing as an other column inside of QuickBooks Online. So they were using that as a specific line item, custom column, custom field. And lo and behold, all of that data never made the journey because there wasn't a place for it to go inside of QuickBooks. So that added some extra steps, right? So being able to use what is available inside of QuickBooks as far as a column is concerned, because that was more important to them than, let's say, the description field, right?
Yeah.
So they needed that. And then we introduced to them Method to this whole issue, and they're finding that that they're much happier with the sales form customizations inside of Method after converting from desktop to online. So I'm gonna toss it over to Yousif.
Yeah.
to kind of discuss some of the things that you can do inside of Method when, and I'm envisioning Method as like a QuickBooks converter recovery package, right? So all of those things that you were used to using inside of desktop that don't have a home in QuickBooks Online can find a new home inside of Method. So talk about that concept.
Yeah, so Method kind of bridges that gap between the missing functionality between desktop and online. For example, advanced pricing, right? Advanced pricing doesn't exist in QuickBooks Online, but it exists in QuickBooks Desktop. So that's where you can kind of use Method and you can build your own custom advanced pricing solution. And in fact,
do you mean like price levels?
Price levels.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically with price levels, if there was something that you didn't like in QuickBooks, but you still used it, and you want to now still use price levels in QuickBooks Online, think of Method as that opportunity for you to take that feedback that you had in QuickBooks and actually apply it and redesign it in Method. And now you're getting something that you really, really wanted, you know? So for the sales form customization, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my understanding of sales form customization is just being able to customize the areas both in QuickBooks, so like the interactive transaction layout, but as well as the PDF, like the print, right? So
yeah. So there's an internal, what you see on the screen,
correct,
and then there's an external, what the customer or your vendor or supplier would see if you were to send that document to them.
Correct. So basically, what I wanted to share with you was there's this. I want to give you the most extreme example, or something very similar, something very different than what you would see in QuickBooks. So in Method, this is an estimate transaction. So think of it as being similar but different at the same time. You have your transaction header, right? That's right at the top here. So all the header information. Then you have the detail, the line item information, and then you got the footer, right? So the structure of the transaction is the same in Method as you would find in QuickBooks. But then you're able to add in layers and add in your own aspects of your specific business that you couldn't do in QuickBooks. So for example, this reminder schedule. This is a complete custom functionality that a business might want to automatically send out estimate reminders for anyone who hasn't approved their estimate yet, right? Then you also have this approval detail section. This is just custom information that you require the customer to fill out before the estimate can even be approved. But you're able to see that custom information right there, right in front of you, as soon as you open up the estimate. But then the really cool thing with Method is that you can also just completely change your PDF printouts. So if I go ahead and I just print this out, look at this. So this is for an actual company that I work with. And this is their PDF printout for their quote. So they basically kind of have like a brochure as the first page. And then as the second page is the actual estimate itself. It's completely different. And look at her, Rachel. She's floored.
I need that.
Right? This is completely different. And I don't know, like I'm not familiar with QuickBooks Desktop, but I'm assuming that a lot of this could not be achieved in QuickBooks Desktop. I could be wrong.
No, right? You'd have to do, something like an attachment, and then you can add those attachments, but it's not going to combine them into one document. They're going to be separate attachments.
Yeah.
In QuickBooks Desktop.
So this is like the picture of one of the employees there, and this is dynamic based off of whoever's assigned to the estimate. So if I have someone else that's assigned to the estimate, and I'll just show you something. Let me put in give me a second. Let me hit save here. And let's just regenerate this because I want to show you how it's going to show now. So if I just go ahead and I hit print, look at that.
Person.
It's a different person and different name and different contact info. This is all dynamic, right? And this is all coming from the estimate form internal. And it's just pulling into the customer facing PDF.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whoever happens to be, if you've got a sales guy out there or a gal, they can go in and select the right one and send it.
Exactly.
And I think the most powerful aspect of Method is its bidirectional sync with QuickBooks. In that, as soon as you've recorded this estimate, the estimate will show up inside of QuickBooks almost instantaneously. I think it's like 5 minutes, or is it actually instantaneously, Yousif?
So for QuickBooks Online, it's every 15-minute cycle. So you may be making a change and you might be in the middle of that 15-minute cycle, which means you have another 8 minutes before it shows up in QuickBooks and vice versa.
Now, what's not going to show up is this, right? It's not going to show up, this this PDF is not necessarily going to show up in QuickBooks to view, but anything that has a home, an apples to apples home inside of QuickBooks. So it would be the estimate itself, the line item detail that's there, that's on that transaction,
Correct.
the customer, everything that has a one-to-one relationship between QuickBooks and Method will populate. So it allows you to also then, hand off workflows a lot smoother if you are using or adding on Method for maybe that one thing that it doesn't do.
Exactly.
And then, the rest of it, you're fine with handling those workflows inside of QuickBooks.
And the great thing
The
great thing with this is that these PDFs are completely transferable. So if you want to copy it to another account, let's say you have someone else that likes this template, you can go ahead and you can copy it from your account. You can just say, hey, I want to move this over. It's very easy to transfer over. It's not hard. Now, this all comes from this report designer here. So this is an incredibly flexible web-based designer. You don't need to download anything locally to your computer. This is just accessible through the Method platform. It just shows up in a new tab, and basically, it's like an empty canvas. You can just go ahead and you can just recreate whatever template you like.
Yeah, this is very similar to like what we were showing with the layout designer, right?
Exactly.
So you can extend the form sizes in here, move things around. You have a grid to kind of work with, to be able to know where things are going to be seen. But you also have this customization on what you see on the screen, as well as what is ultimately the output, right?
Correct. And I do see Sarah has a question.
Yeah.
Desktop has a customizable AR payment, which is handy for nonprofits, where the payment needs a tax receipt format versus the invoice pledge to play. Would Method handle AR payments? Yes, it does. And in fact, Method has a nonprofit donor version of Method where they have specific donor apps only exclusive to nonprofit companies.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
like three industry types that Method kind of has right out of the box, right? And it's the general CRM. There's field service management, for people who have HVAC, landscapers, that have people on the field that only need to do stuff out in the field, that you'll have give them kind of access to be able to do those types of things. And then there's a nonprofit industry.
Is that one of the ones that comes standard in it, or is it one of the ones you have to buy?
So basically there's three different versions. So the third one being just the out of the box CRM package, and then the donor one. All of these are versions that you have to eventually subscribe to. They do offer a free trial, so you can try it out for 14 days. If you don't like it, great, no strings attached, no credit card required. If you do like it and you like what you see, then you can subscribe. They do come with a different price tag though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sarah, I know you've been asking some questions. As an accountant partner or referrer of Method, you actually get an instance for yourself to be able to integrate that into your own practice, as well as a demo account to be able to show prospective clients or referrers for free.
That's correct.
For 2 users. You don't get it for your whole team, right? So if you do have like a large team of multiple people, you end up having to pay for those extra people. But it really allows you to drink your own champagne or eat your own dog food by incorporating it into your own practice, to be able to see the true flexibility and functionality that Method offers you as a practitioner, as well as what it could do for your clients.
That's correct. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have a complimentary instance of Method for my practice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because I'm a Method partner.
Yeah, the partner community is expanding rapidly, and I love it. And it just shows.
Yeah, I can't say I really know how to do anything in it, but that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's why we like having Yousif on, because
Yes.
he is the Dan DeLong of Method, right?
Yes.
He's the guy who used to work for Method, headed up the customization team. So like he was the AI human, right? Talk to Yousif, tell him what you want, and he'll try to make those a reality inside of Method.
Yeah, feel
So
free to just pick my brain. I'm more than happy to just have a conversation to kind of give you direction on what you should do in Method.
Yeah, and if you want to, I don't know if you can see the chat on the right side, Yousif, if you want to put your contact information in there, so that people watching this now or later want to reach out to you, you can. People can do that to maybe schedule up some consultations for you.
It's funny. I feel like this is deja vu. I swear we had the exact same issue last time where I couldn't even enter anything in the chat. It says private chat only. I don't see an area for
Oh, yeah, it should be over on the right side. But if you want to put it in there, I'll copy it in.
Sure.
To the folks that watch it. And it says you're typing, so I can see you're typing, and I can hear it too.
Yeah, it's a loud keyboard.
Must be a gamer.
I used to. Don't have time for it anymore, unfortunately.
Right. There you go. I'll put it in the chat, so it should go out to Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. Maybe we'll see. All righty. So anything else that you can think of, Yousif, as far as the customization options that are available inside of Method?
So I do offer like some I guess you would call app templates, or which I'm kind of building my own app marketplace. So if you see here, I have advanced pricing for QBO, or price levels for QBO. Then we also have a time tracker for field services, which is, I find to be more user-friendly than what Method offers out of the box. And then there's something called a quick intake app. So this is kind of an app where you can go ahead, if you're on the road and you're busy and you have, customers or leads calling you, you just essentially say, sorry, I can't get to you right now. And you basically shoot off an SMS. And if you want, I can even put my phone number in here, and it'll shoot me a text message with a link to a form, and that form will automatically, this is the form that you would want to fill out, that they would receive on their phone.
That's
so then
fantastic.
It pushes that responsibility of having the business owner or the associate to have to fill out this information while they're on the road or not. It kind of solves that problem for them, where now they're pushing that responsibility on the customer or the lead, right?
Yeah, and that's we had a marketer, marketing consultant on the Power Hour, and he was saying some statistic that you have, as a business owner, you have 20 seconds to respond to an inquiry before they move on to the next one on the list, right?
Yeah.
So this being able to have some kind of interaction, which of course, putting the responsibility for more information on the person making the inquiry, is, again, it's more of a joined experience, as opposed to tennis match of, we serve the ball over in your court, we're waiting for the return.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no. So this solves a big problem for a lot of business owners, where they just simply don't have time to capture those leads themselves, and it basically creates like a pipeline for them right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can go ahead and they can just mark anything done that they've already attended to, all within their mobile phone. So this is all mobile friendly over here, which is Pretty neat.
This is I think this is another workshop that we need to have.
I need this.
going into the because I'm kind of blown away by the things that Method can do
I know, me too.
for those people who are missing something from desktop, right? Just
Yep.
the things that they're normally doing, the custom columns on invoices or sales transactions, the missing type of transaction of sales orders that can be now brought back in, but that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Method. The web to the web to activities form, the customer portal somewhere that the customers can go in and see their own sales activity, download the transactions, so that's a great aspect for those nonprofits that Sarah was talking about, where somebody needs to download their statement of their donations for tax purposes at the time that they need it, without compiling all of their emails together. They can just go in and grab those things, move on, without necessarily interacting with the company, as time and opportunity may not allow for that.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm dealing with a lot of people that want to convert from desktop to online, and a lot of times I'm sort of stuck saying, well, no, you can't do that in QuickBooks Online. You can't do that. Well, not only can as I learn more about what this functionality and Method can do, there's an answer for that, and to me, this even looks better. It's not I just can do it. It's better, and in the spirit of automation, it's probably a lot more automated.
Right.
It can automatically update other things, and it's just really incredible.
Yeah, no, that's why I came back after going to Salesforce. I was like, man, everything is not all as it seemed, and
it really, though, it for me, it takes an expert like you, and that's why I'm so happy to talk to you, and I'm going to be referring you, because a lot of this I would love to do on my own, but it's just I can't do it all as much as I want to. So that knowing that there's experts out there like you that really understand Method inside and out, and can keep up with all of the changes.
Yeah, no, and that's why I love doing what I do, is just to help business owners such as yourself, Rachel, or you, Dan. Is just you might not have time to become an expert at something. You're busy with your day-to-day, right? And you also have families and stuff like that. And I just like providing a service that I know will help you save an immense amount of time, an immense amount of money. That's where I get my passion from, is the fact that I'm saving you time and money. And that's why I came back to this job. And that was part of my whole journey, is Salesforce really my passion? Am I actually making an impact here? And then I realized that I was making an impact at my old job. And that's why I decided to come back, because I'm helping people such as yourselves.
Well, awesome.
Well, I like it.
And as a side note, and he probably doesn't want me to say this, Yousif is less costly than working with Method directly. He doesn't know that yet, and he needs to up his prices. I'm gonna provide that feedback.
Yeah.
I have to tell you guys something funny. So, I was just emailing my client, I have this incredible solution for the things you can't do in QBO now. And I said, would you like me to set up a demo? And she instantly responded, yes. And I also need a custom estimate. I was like, oh boy.
Here we go.
Because you just showed that. And I'm going to respond with, oh boy, you have no idea what it can do.
You can tell her she can paint pictures of cats all over. That's what my friend always says. You can put pictures of cats all over it. And that's it. It's really up to you what you want to put on there.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The limits are your imagination.
Yeah, basically.
And as long as you can articulate that to someone like Yousif to be able to make that happen. Again, you can do all these things yourself, but because they do give you the, completely open access to be able to do those things. It just, if you're not familiar with it, you could potentially find yourself down this rabbit hole of, okay, well, how do I undo what I what I just did? And that's why having someone like with the expertise like Yousif is so valuable to have the on hand or in your back pocket, when things go horribly awry, because it is. I think that is probably Method's. I don't want to say downside, but but to all of that is, yes, you can do all this stuff and it's totally customizable, but if you're not familiar with using it, then it gets a little overwhelming. And I think a lot of people have reached that blockade, is that I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to mess it up. And that's where they need someone like you or the Method customization team, because they do include a free hour of customization, as part of the trial process. You can get through a whole hour talking through, what do you want to do, and of course their goal is, hey, this is going to take more than 1 hour. purchase a package. That's where somebody, talking to somebody like Yousif ahead of time, or at least after that hour, then going, okay, this is what we really can do.
Yeah, and what I really want to do is just try to help people to get as much out of Method on their own as possible. So even if you have a question, you're trying to work out something in Method, and you just want to figure out if it can be done, and if you're approaching it wrong, I'm more than happy just to even get on a call quickly and just go over it with you and tell you, how you should be approaching it, because at the end of the day, if you can even work Method 50% of its full potential, you're already light years ahead of what you could do outside of QuickBooks, right? So,
yeah, I think somebody called me a QuickBooks empowerment coach. I think that is your title for Method. You're a Method empowerment coach.
I might have.
Yeah, it's really, really important. Dan's my QuickBooks empowerment coach. I have learned so much from just osmosis from Dan. But that's what you do. It's true. Yousif, true for Method, absolutely.
Method empowerment coach. I like that. There's a nice ring to it.
And like we talked about last time, remember? Do you guys remember we talked about this? That it's a little bit of a misnomer just to call it Method CRM, because it can do so much more, right? Yes. So we've got to drop it in the suggestion box for them.
100%. I've spoken to them about it all the time. I don't know if they will. I know that if they remove the CRM from Method, then they're going to be confused with the soap company, right? I told you guys.
Yes. So but maybe they could call it Method Automation or Method.
Exactly. Something. Exactly. Method Automation for accounting, something like that.
There you go. All right. So next time on the workshop, we're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? It's either one of two things, and I don't want to go out of the studio to figure out what it is. We're going to be talking about, in the coming 2 weeks, I'll put it that way. In the coming 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about migrating payroll from desktop to online. Yes, it can be done. And two, we're going to be also talking about the new AI powered bank feed. Because nobody likes change more than those that are sitting in the bank feed on the day-to-day basis to redo the whole thing for you. So we'll be talking about the changes, what the good, the bad, and the ugly as it comes to the bank feed. So look forward to those, and we hope to see you next time on the I almost said the wrong one, the Workshop Wednesday. And we'll see you next time, and I hope you have a great week.
Bye, everyone. See you.
And that wraps up another insightful episode of Workshop Wednesday, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and took away some valuable tips and strategies to enhance your bookkeeping practice. Remember, if you want to stay ahead in the world of bookkeeping and accounting, be sure to visit Schoolofbookkeeping.com. With a wide range of courses, resources, and expert guidance, you'll find everything you need to sharpen your skills and boost your career. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, please take a moment to leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content every week. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover, reach out to us on social media or send us an email at support@schoolofbookkeeping.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for new ideas to explore. Thanks for tuning in to Workshop Wednesday. Until next time, keep learning, keep